Well, I'm sort of starting off this video sort of at the end, and this is a finished product just about, and the rest of the video is about how I actually made what you're looking at now. And I'm very pleased with this, and I've never done a complete deck of cards before, but these are a set of cards for a particular game that I'm making at the moment called, because I think it's Kazink it's called. It's just one I'm making up. It's cheaper to buy than it is to make, but I love the challenge, and I'm going to make it and finish it. And I've done the board, but I haven't completed it yet. Nothing's completed. And this is just a little video to show you what you can achieve if you go onto YouTube and you look at what the guys will show you. If you take a few minutes to look at what they're trying to show you, they do it really, really well, a lot of them. This is not very good, but I'm so pleased with myself, I just thought I'd put it on. And you're using very few things. Glue and a brush, of course, to apply things, and a straight ruler, a bone folder, and an object to cut with, a sharp object. I've got an alpha knife there, but you can use anything that's sharp enough to cut it, a scalpel or whatever you buy, razor blade or whatever. But this is a pack of cards that I normally buy to do my things with. And what it is, it's got the thing on the one side, and on the other side it's blanks. And I usually put my bits and pieces what I need on the inside, and then I carry on from there. But I've done exactly the same thing with these, which are all homemade, and they're exactly the same, and they're made of card. They're a little bit fatter and they're a little bit more non-professional, because they're not made with a machine, obviously, and they're made with several layers, but they actually work. And the cards, when I finish them, they're the blanks, as you see there, and that's the backs. And how you do that I've got in the video later on, but these are the cards that I'm making. So there's 3 of a certain type of card which you can't sort of buy and go in the shop and buy. You've got to make these. And these are another type of card that you can't buy, which is just the iconic suits. There's nothing else on there. There's no ace of spades or diamonds or pictures or kings or queens. It's just the ace of spades, ace of diamonds, ace of clubs and the ace of hearts. And that's repetitive. It goes on. You get 11 of each of those, which will give you 44. And then there's 10 of these cards which are wild. So there's 2 crown cards, 4 wild cards and 4 double up cards. And they're what I'm going to show you how to make on the in the following sequences. And they've got a cover on them, so as you can, they don't slide as well as a normal card, but even these are not very good. These are Chinese and they don't play very well. And if you want to buy them from the bicycle cards or Waddington's cards, blanks, they're very expensive. And these don't actually slide all that good because they aren't plasticized. And you'll see why why they're not, because they're only card and paper. But these are the card sleeves that I put on them, and the things become quite slidey. Then you can deal them and shuffle them and throw them around, and they become quite. I can't do it with one hand, obviously, but they become quite pliant, and they're easy to use, and they'll do for making games. It's not a perfect solution, but it's very, very good, and I'm very, very pleased with what I've done. Anyway, without further ado, I'll add this onto the video, and we'll see how you can make them for yourself if you're interested. Well, this is the first part, well, the first stage of what I do to make my own playing cards. They're not exactly very good, but they're better than nothing, and they do give you the ability to produce whatever you like, whenever you like. You don't have to wait for them, or you don't have to semper cards, and you don't have to use acetone. You can use acetone to remove the things on cards and stuff, but I find that a lot of work, and it's more than I need anyway, and I don't really want too professional a result. And it's only for making games. And what I've done here, I've selected 3 pictures, any 3 pictures. You can use anything, you can use wallpaper, you can use whatever you like, and then you reduce it in your paint shop program. You put it in your paint shop program, and you darken it or lighten it, or you can change the colours or whatever. But because I only wanted black, and I've got 3 separate colours here. I've got one dark and one lighter and one lighter still, and I prefer the darker ones. But these are just 3 pictures, and what I've done then, you put them into your you go to your Microsoft Word, and I'll just make that a little bit bigger. There we are. And then you insert a picture from File, and mine is in Desktop, and they're in New Folder. There's New Folder, and I'll pick the one I want, which is the darkest one, that one, and there it is. And in Word, you can, if you click on it, you can reduce the size of it, like so, and you can, by getting hold of it and dragging it and moving it around and that. And if you'd have put the pictures on that you wanted prior to this, you could have done. You could have put your own face on if you wanted a picture of yourself. And then what you do is you format the picture, because otherwise it won't move. Go to Layout, Square, centre it, and then it will go to the centre of the screen. Then you can move it around wherever you want. And once you've got that, you can then click on it and copy it, and then paste. And you get another one, and you put it next door like so, and then you go down and you paste again, and you go down and then you paste again, drag it down. I'm going over this very quickly because I'm sure most people can do this quite simply in Word, and you level it up to what you want, and then you save that. Save it as whatever you need to save it as, and then I don't want to save it because I've already got it, but mine are here. I've got mine there, so, and I've already produced so many, so I'm just going to print these out now. So I just bang on it, and I print them in I'll show you a print preview anyway, so you can see what I'm doing. Print. Let's go into print. And you go into properties. And you go into manual, and you print at 2 pages. Left hand edge binding. And then you click OK. And what you're doing is you're printing. Make sure that the properties are, 2 pages per sheet, yeah. OK, and then click OK, and then you wait a couple of seconds for it to think, and then it says print, and then you can see it starts scribbling away. And what I'm doing, I'm printing on paper there, but I should be actually, I've got a card here, and I want the card to be blue. So I've just printed it out on a piece of paper just to show you what you can do. But that's not exactly what I want. I'm going to print out on a card. I should have printed it out on a card. Okay, well, I'm just waiting for the final bits and pieces to come out. I made a mistake. I printed out on paper and I shouldn't have done. I wanted to print on card. And this is 160 card. It's 2 thicknesses of standard paper, that's all. And I'm going to add another piece of paper to it which has got the card facings on it in a minute. So that's that's it finished. I've now got the 2 pieces that I want, and now I'll stop there and I'll continue to show you how I do the rest of it. So that's the printing side of it done. I've done it rather quickly, but I have got things on how you print things out in this fashion on other videos. I'll just stop there and then okay, well now I've got the card. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put something on it that's white, like the facings. So the card is actually coloured pale blue. I mean, you can do the colour of these any colour you want. You could do them pink. I mean, I've got pink board, and you could have them green or whatever colour card you've got. You've got preferences for what colour cards you want. But I wanted the backs different to the insides. I wanted the back a powdery blue. This is a powdery blue. So what I've done is I've turned it over. I've got a sheet of exactly the same size, just ordinary printing paper, 80 GSM. So this card is 160 and that's 80. So that's 240. You've got 240 there, 240 GSM when you've stuck them together. So you glue them together. So you get a piece of. I use just a brush and a pot of glue, and I'm not too particular about it. I mean, you can see that I've done it rather quickly here, and because you only need to do the inside, there's no point in wasting glue on the outside of it. I just glue up about half an inch inside the thing, and then stick the thing on, and then make sure it's flat, and then leave it to dry. And then after that, I just cut out the shapes I want, and here's one of my shapes already cut. That's what they look like when they've been cut. The corners I do with a little corner punch, which is a couple of pounds, I think, and you put it on and it pops them. It's just the right size to do something like this. And the rest of the tools that I use is a little alpha knife to cut the screens out with a steel ruler, and I use a bone folder to flatten with sometimes if you want to get them absolutely flat and get the air bubbles out. And sometimes I use my little roller, but normally you can use your hands and a bone folder and you can get them relatively flat, otherwise you'll get air bubbles. And that's that part of it done. And once you've done that and you've cut them out and you've took the corners off, all you do then is I've already made some cards here, made them up, and this is for a particular game. I mean, they could have had the playing symbols on. You could have printed out, copied and pasted an actual playing card if you'd wanted, and done that, and then done one for each suit. But I've just got the suits here, the icons for each suit, because this is a particular game that I'm doing. So I've got hearts, clubs and spades, and what I've done is I've just placed it on the inside of a thing like that, and then stuck it together. Stuck the two together with a piece. So you just put a bit of glue on the back there, put this on, like so, like that. Glue it on, make sure it's straight of course, and glue it on, and then just make sure. It's a lengthy process, but it's quite enjoyable, and it doesn't take long once you get going. And you can see the way I've copied the things here. I do them on a sheet. I get about 8 on a sheet, 8 cards on one sheet. So there's diamonds, I've cut the sheet in half, and hearts, I've cut the sheet in half, and spades. And I haven't got clubs because I used all the clubs up. But you can see it's quite simple to do. You just do them on your printer, and then you carry on and stick and glue and stick and glue until you get this. And what I've done is I bought a set of things called Ultra Pros, which are the card sleeves in fact, and they're 2 5/8 by 3 5/8. That's the size of them. And I could have cut the cards to the exact size of them if I'd wanted, so they fitted exactly, but it doesn't really matter because they stay in place, and once they're glued in they don't tend to move. and you can shuffle these quite happily. They wouldn't shuffle in your hand ordinarily as a normal card like this, because you haven't got that plasticky feel to them. But when they're in this card cover, they actually do slide well, and I haven't done a stack of them yet because I've just started to do it, but other people do these much better than I do, and there are better ways of doing it. But if you just want to do something quickly, all you need is to produce it is a pot of glue and a brush and a little bit of cardstock, whatever colours you want. I have a large cardstock. I've got pink and yellow and green, all sorts of different colours for what I do, and then you print it out in your printer as I've shown you, and then once you print it out, you stick the paper on the back, going through it all again, and then once it's dried, you just cut it out with your little alpha knife and your ruler. So you place it on and cut it to shape, and then you can cut it to exactly the same shape as the card folder that you're going to put it in, making sure it's glued. You don't even have to glue them if you don't want to, but they are better, more professional if you glue them, and you can't see the joins because the glue, your paste that you use, you can't see it once it's dried anyway. And that's it. The only things you've got to purchase are the card sleeves, of course, and you need one of those, and something sharp to cut with. But it's relatively cheap to make, and once you've done that, you can make any card that you like. I mean, there's nothing stopping you making any kind of card you want for any game that you want. And I found this out on the YouTube. It's nothing to do with me. This was all produced on people that do things on YouTube, and I greatly appreciate the help and everything else, but there's so many of them that I can't remember all the names, but they know who they are. The people that do this particular thing. There are plenty of them, but I was so pleased with it because it's such a quick method, and once you've done the initial layout, I mean, I think I paid £2 or £3 for these, for a couple of hundred, and £2 or £3 for that thing. I suppose there's about £5 or £6 altogether, and then once you've done that, I mean, after that it sort of becomes cheap. It's just a matter of the paper that you use. Anyway, I'll stop there, and hope that's been of some interest to somebody or some use. I realise that I was rather quick on the printing side of it, but the printing side is a different thing altogether, and it isn't too difficult for me. I don't find it difficult. I tend to gloss over it, but if anybody wants any help on the printing side, and they give me a little message up or thumbs up or whatever, I'll try and explain that to them a little bit deeper or better. Anyway, I'll stop there.